Hey guys, Tarke here, and before we get into going over my starter video, I just wanted to let you be aware of a few things. One, Grimro has already done a very good Atlas strategy video, so if you're unsure on how you want to do your Atlas in 3.3, check that out. Also, if you go onto the PoE website, you can pre-patch 3.3, and if you haven't seen it, there is a post going over all the new skill gems. So, before we really get into it though, the most important thing today, I've made a new sub counter using art from game to make it kind of like a unique item. Do you think it looks okay? I don't know. Tell me what you think. So I originally wanted to start on a trapper, but I decided not to do a trapper. I'm doing a scorching ray build. And the reason why I'm not doing a trapper is I did want to go CI traps, and I'm playing hardcore SSF again. And I didn't necessarily want to league start on CI, and there's also quite a lot of debate over what the best trap setup will be. So I decided the best thing to do would be do a trapper as my second build. That gives me time to collect CI gear, and it also gives the community time to work out what the best setup is, and it also makes things a little bit more interesting for the stream, since there are a lot of other people I know who want to be playing traps. So if everyone's playing traps, it's going to be a bit like... So when I do play a trap, it'll at least be a CI trap, so it's slightly fresh. So what is the skill that I'm playing? It is the very exciting Scorching Ray. Now, I very nearly went Blight over Scorching Ray, and I'm still kind of umming and ahhing between the two, but the main real reason I've decided to go for Scorching Ray is because of Vaal Righteous Fire. I think Vaal Righteous Fire is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's something that nearly every single castle which can fit it should run it. So the reason why I think that Vaal Righteous Fire is so powerful, the way it works is you sacrifice 30% of your life and energy shield. So you just sacrifice 30% once, and then you deal 180% of sacrificed life and energy shield as fire damage, so you get like a big burn, which is fine. But the main thing is it grants 39% more spell damage. Now the base duration is 4 seconds, and if you're a build which scales skill effect duration in the slightest, you can very easily get this buff to last upwards of 10 seconds, meaning you can have this buff active for an entire boss fight. You can have it, active for a decent amount of the map. It has a soul gain prevention of 10 seconds, but you can get the uptime higher than that if you really want to push it. So you might even be able to like perma maintain it during mapping if you really care. Not that it matters. It's mostly just like you'll have it always for bosses, and that's what makes it so powerful. And then if you are a build such as Scorching, which does scale off of burning damage, you can shove this Vaal Righteous Fire into like an Elder Helm or an Essence Helm, and then suddenly not only is it giving you this very powerful more multiplier, it's also doing quite a significant burn by itself. So also because of that, I'm going for a pure life tree. I'm not doing a mind over matter tree. And one other thing which swayed me more towards Scorching Ray than Blight, which was very close because Vaal Blight does also look very powerful, is the Combustion Support Gem. So the chance to ignite gem's been crazy buffed. It now gives 19%, like enemies ignited by supported skills have -19. So normally penetration doesn't work on degens, but this lowers the enemy resist. So this is like a curse, it's like EE. So normally you'd use like a Ball Lightning or an Orb of Storm setup to proc your EE and proc Arcane Surge. Just whip the combustion in, and suddenly you've got all this extra penetration, and it comes with an inbuilt 49% chance to ignite. And I actually have something like 100% or like 95% chance to ignite because all the buffed up burning damage nodes have loads of chance to ignite built in now. So we have 20% chance to ignite there, 25% chance to ignite, and then we have 40% chance to ignite. And then without anything else and just the gem, because this was 49, we have 89% chance to ignite. And I'm going to be using Ball Lightning, which hits very rapidly. So you instantly just ignite everything. Feels absolutely amazing, man. Right, so what is the tree? Well, it doesn't look that revolutionary, but is a Scorching Ray tree. In complete starter, like nothing gear, just using a Tabula. Not using any corruptions, not using any level 21 gems, completely normal, no quality, no nothing. Using, just flat, get an item, get like a tier 3 roll on it. Same with the shield, nothing crazy. Haven't got any DPS mods on the amulet, on the rings. Haven't got any like crazy stuff on the belts. For the jewels, I'm just rolling a life plus 1 damage over time mod. I would want to have a life damage time and 1 onslaught jewel. I've got 3 in here because I couldn't be bothered to make another one. But yeah, super basic gear. This is stuff you get like day 1, day 2 of a league, right? And if you look, this is against bosses in configuration. So just a standard boss with the combustion support and EE. You have 700k dot damage. If you were to take off frenzy charges, take off power charges, and have we got our righteous fire on, turn this all off, you have a very respectable 400k damage in complete starter gear. So you're looking at like 400k boss damage. This isn't shaper damage, but most of you won't be doing shaper day one of the league. So you've got a very respectable 400k boss damage. And then fully buffed up, you have, again, 700k, which is, nothing to really sneeze at. For flasks, we're not using anything fancy flask-wise. We're going for a Chemist Quicksilver, Chemist Ignite, Chemist Sulfur. If you really wanted to haul, you could run a Alchemist Sulfur for even more damage effect there. But yeah, so very realistic numbers. And outside of having a few fun tools, the main reason why I decided to go for Scorching Ray over something like Blight, I'm very excited to try out Vaal Blight, but I'm a little bit worried about Blight for early incursions. Scorching Ray isn't the strongest thing for the first few levels, but once you get your Elite Overload, once you get your EE, it face rolls all of the bosses no problem, and I am 100% confident that I can very safely kill all of these scary incursion architects with 0 gear. If you're playing Incursion League, which I hope you are, you want to be picking builds which can do the temples very easily, very reliably. So Scorching Ray will just be like walk through, swipe, swipe. You're a trickster going super fast. See the architect, throw your ball lightning, proc all your stuff, press Vaal right to sire, it's dead, no problems. It also gets some handy chaos res and a lot of life regen. I think chaos damage and like chaos degens is going to be a very big part of Incursion. So if you can fit some chaos res into your builds, please do it. I think you'll really, really appreciate that extra thing there. The only thing I do on this tree, which might seem a little bit bizarre to some people, is I take these 3 points for the extra attack and cast speed. Again, I just really want to go fast. And when you're looking at actual like damage numbers stuff, you could get these 2 points, which would be, 1.4 damage per point, or you get something which would make your mapping and everything just feel better. I'd rather just sort of feel better. Again, the idea with starter builds like this is get something which does good enough damage. You can very happily kill all the bosses with it. You can feel safe doing all the content and just go through, no worries. At that point, you just want to farm as quickly as possible so you can then get the gear and the items for then the more interesting build you want to do later. And again, incursions are timed, so you want to be going fast, fast, fast. Now, one interesting idea I really want to explore day one is once your build feels slightly powerful, actually going to a really low-level zone. So, for example, the zone that I'm planning on farming, since the whole thing with SSF is you never know what you're going to get, right? So you kind of just have to roll with the drops. And I tried to get 2 Poet's Pens drop, and I couldn't get them for all of Best. I kept getting 1 in Flashback, then I got 1 in just Beastry Normal. Is doing some maybe early ship graveyard runs. We've seen Ziggy get some pretty crazy stuff, like, Goldrum off his first incursion, and they seem to just absolutely rain down unique items on you. So if you do Ship's Graveyard, the little cave where you get the Orflame, it's a level 12 zone. Level 12 is what you need for stuff like Poet's Pen, if you're trying to, target farm that in particular. And it's a very tight, very linear zone. Alva has a guaranteed spawn of once per zone. So you run through it, it's super linear, it's the right item level. And if you were to do this, once you've hit Act 2, you've maybe got your Herald, you've got a couple of support gems, you just quickly run back, do this for a little bit. You might just get that extra, bit of currency you need to buy the first unique items you need if you're a Trade League dude. You might get that extra nice leveling item to really boost your SSF experience. That's really the main thing you want to be looking for when it comes to league starting, is what can you do to help yourself out? Now, obviously, if you're someone who is super zoom racer, you just want to be racing for maps. But, if you're watching this video, you're probably not. You're probably just the average guy. So for the average guy, I'd recommend something like this and go through back and forth, absolutely no problem. And this could be the difference of yes, this my leveling experience felt amazing, or no, my leveling experience felt terrible. Now, obviously, I haven't played 3.3 yet, so I can't guarantee how great early temple runs will be, but it's something you should realize after your first run of, okay, I've done the temple once, wasn't really my kind of vibe, then forget about it. But if it does turn out that's something that you really enjoy doing, or it's very powerful, well then, there's the secret little Tarke tech tips. I always like to mess around with league mechanics at the start, and that's kind of what I'm going to be going for. I will be streaming about an hour or so before the league goes live. So if you'd like to have your league start with me, then please do check me out. And if you haven't seen already, I've done 2 other build videos preparing for 3.3. One with a bunch of trapper trees, and one with more general caster trees, covering ignite, totems, crit, etc. I'm Tarke. This is an invisible dinosaur. Have a good day. Bye-bye.